roll it out in the mid game and just go all out after then. So draft-wise, I expect EVOS Icon to just draft similarly. Draft Ivan on towards the hero, perhaps that can crowd control is usually what he likes most.
Let's see what the diversity is going to be here like, right? I think that's what we're expecting from the draft, and more importantly, we're hoping that the draft somewhat comes out even. This is a best of 3, so even if you do, they cheese this one game, you can look to bounce back the second.
Yeah, and seeing how this is going to be happening here, I feel like when it comes to adapting is going to be a very, very important key factor. Okay, I'm going to give you a little bit point here, Gani. EVOS Icon is known to be able to adapt on the fly and on situations. If things don't go according to plan, they are able to kind of figure out a way to find a way to kind of counter-engage and make a comeback, which is something that EVOS Icon is really, really good at. But Homeboys is very, I would say, chaotic. They kind of mirror towards Todak's play style, where they drive in the midst of chaos, where Zorn sometimes is able to find the right plays to set up to win the game.
Right plays or not, I do feel that there is some kind of respect that both teams are going to give to each other, right? I feel like even for EVOS Icons, word on the street is that when they scrim against people like EVOS Legends, they're a big brother team, even they struggle with them, right?
Yep.
That tells us a lot, as we know that EVOS Legends, depending on which side and which allegiance you're going to be leaning to, does say a lot.
Now let's focus on the first phase here, Gideon, right? 2Ks has been banned, Kadita and Kaja, and alongside is that Fanny. So I guess what Homeboys are saying here, we do not want to go up against a hero that can go easily invade our jungles. With the Kadita, with Kaja and Fanny, those type of heroes very, very easily can go in deep into your jungle. But EVOS Icon, they can ban out the prior. His Joy is up for grabs, and perhaps Arlet is also in play.
Sorry, I'm going to double back a little bit here to emphasize on your point here for Gideon. According to, I quote Mirko, saying that Taz told him that EVOS Icon played 50 scrims against EVOS Legends and won 43 out of 50 games in that scrim game. So
interesting.
It shows that EVOS Icon seems to be the stronger team here.
Well, I mean, that's what we can believe until it is game day. It's all about the execution. The fact that I didn't see the Joy ban in the Melissa is going to be banned out. Again, that big relationship between Farmus and Glue is still there. Joy is going to get locked in instantaneously by the side of the Homeboys. Does EVOS Icons want to pick up a suppress within this first phase? Wow, they are fast. Arlen already locked in, followed up by the Valentina.
No suppression just yet here. It seems like they're taking their time. They want to secure the heroes that can enable his team. And we know that Arlet in this current tournament, in this current phase, has a very positive win rate. So they want to utilize that in that EXP. But then again, EVOS Icon uses Arlet on Ivan. So it's a flex, but this Valentina, such a solid pick.
Personally, I think, for EVOS Icon, if they were to go for this Franco pickup, it wouldn't be too bad as a suppress effective. But because of how Zorn has kind of shown his cards yesterday playing the Diggy, well, it can be a little bit questionable, a little bit difficult to actually play that role. However, if Homeboys decide to overthink it, you know what, Zorn plays a pretty good Franco as well, just deny it from the get-go. But, of course, let's stick to a little bit basics here. S-tier picks coming up, Eve as well as the Lancelot. Gonna be the safety net coming for Homeboys for now.
They don't mind the real-world manipulation falling into the hands of EVOS Icons. They at least still have the Joy that can attack the backlines and really make it difficult for their mid laner, Krite, who's been doing well on Eve, right? Claude gets locked in, and now EVOS Icon have a very safe goal lane.
This is... Sorry, I'm sorry to cut you up there, but this is interesting. I'm surprised they actually picked the Claude, considering that they have got Joy. So I feel like Joy strives on this blazing duet sequences, the situations when you actually pop this Vengeance and just return a majority of the damage back to the Claude.
Yeah, well, that's making the assumption that Claude is going to blazing duet into the Vengeance, right? Like, Joy has to close the distance, Claude can BMI, and I think the main idea is just to shut down Eve. You can't get a real-world manipulation for free, not with a Claude in place.
Yeah, with the Claude, I really like it. I really like the pick because it's the mobility, right? It has the mobility. Oh, if you pick up a Beatrix, that is just more vulnerable, so it does not make sense. EVOS Icon second phase, just limit the roam. There you go. Minotaur will be the option here. They might commit to a roam ban actually in that second phase, just trying to shut down and limit the hero pools of Zorn.
I think it's a good idea, but the main problem is always going to be Diggy, right? Because again, Minotaur is going to be useless when Diggy is in play. If you get rid of Minotaur and you're thinking about AoE CC, you got to start thinking about Atlas at the same time.
Wow, nice that you actually brought up Atlas as well, because from a composition coming in from EVOS Icon, if they want to play an Atlas composition, they have to remove that Diggy play. So either or, considering that this second phase pickup, EVOS Icon will have first pick priority if they want to take that Diggy from the get-go and just deny it from Zorn. But it feels like Homeboys always wants to, whichever team, not just Homeboys, when they play with Zorn, they tend to actually lean onto a Zorn's flexibility to play multiple playstyles.
I mean, his signature pick is still up. The fact that they banned out the Hayabusa tells us that Homeboys, they might even be considering Farmis again.
That's true. So again, it's still up in the air here. And even if we're talking about the Diggy, EVOS Icon can pick up the Diggy themselves if they want to play somehow the support type of role, right? So Homeboys will commit to a glue.
Oh.
Which says, yeah, again, they can pick up the Farmis, but with this glue ban, it's just open more possibilities.
I mean, keep in mind, we even saw it in the previous graphic, right? It's all about the roams. Ivan has shown that he is capable of playing a Tenacity Arlet, so I think it's a smart idea, just getting rid of the glue in general. It gives Zorn a little bit more flexibility, but at the end of the day, it's going to be first pick in the second phase for EVOS Icon. What are we thinking here?
I think this is just deny the Diggy as a safety net to enable Arlot as a safety net, but at the same time, it's funny because of the fact I feel like Homeboys' glue ban is pretty good indicator to kind of say like, I don't think Zorn wants to play the Faramis. That's why he just banned the glue, because if EVOS Icon picks the glue, then Faramis is just forcing Zorn to play Faramis is a bit weird.
And again, Gani, you called it. They were looking for that jungler. They're still holding on to the idea of maybe this could be in the EXP lane. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. So they're playing the flexibility. Again, Arlet, Martis, where will they go, right? But in this current position, I would prefer Martis to be in that jungler position, considering going up against Lance, Yves, such, I don't want to say vulnerable, but very juicy for that Martis. And they add suppression. So Homeboys, looking at the mobility that EVOS Icon has, they would like to try and have a stopper in that sense.
And they also pair it up with the carry, expecting to see EVOS Icon look for another tank. I don't mind it too much. I think Lolita is not bad here. At least there's disengage, there's re-engage.
Mincetar, question mark?
Ooh, that's a good shout.
That is actually a really good shout, because again, I wouldn't put it past someone like Ivan, who has played a lot of fighter type roams.
That's the thing, right? Like, I feel like Homeboys, they do have this thought process of just counter picking here to deal with skills, but in terms of front to front here, it feels like Homeboys, they don't have a very strong frontliner, and it feels like they're playing around Zorn, trying to get this kind of hook pickoffs in order to try and enable Chibi. But the final pick here, coming from EVOS Icon, is going to be the Cho.
Okay, wait, hold on. Yeah, the Cho is going into the EXP lane. They want to be able... Oh, no, they switched it over. Ah, man, I was hoping to see Ivan back on that Arlet again. Run us through, which composition do you guys like the most so far? We'll start with Gani. Which side?
I gotta be honest with you, draft-wise, I gotta lean to your boys, Homeboys.
Wow. Okay, what about you, Mr. Icy Baby?
I was going to go into EVOS Icon.
Whoa! A bit of a switcheroo.
You know what? We got to settle this in the field, man.
Let's see.
Man to man.
Okay.
We got to battle with.
It sounds like you guys are going to start dueling in just
May the best man win, baby.
It definitely sounds like you're going to do. Who knows who our analysts are going to be back on the desk or not, but this game is going to be tight with very even drafts and both sides with very similar win cons, with one leaning more towards that dive. We're going to be throwing it over to the casters in just a little bit, but man, oh man, I think I'm leaning more towards, let's say just Homeboys.
Okay, so as Gani and Terrence are going to be dueling it out behind the scenes, in front of us, in the Land of Dawn, we're going to be getting EVOS Icon versus Homeboys. Mirko, how do you feel about what Gani said? He was leaning more towards the Malaysian draft, actually.
Well, looking at the draft, it does seem like Homeboys have a better front-to-back composition because of the Joy. I would say the Joy because for this composition, for EVOS Legends composition to work, they need to try to dive, and I think the Claw's going to be zoned a whole lot. But for our predictions, it seems like both of us went for EVOS Icon.
Yeah, I have a heart for Homeboys, but there's just something about how EVOS Icon played yesterday. Yes, ultra aggressive, sometimes to their own detriment at times yesterday, but oh man, I like it. Oh, Homeboys flip. All right, I just saw that differently. Homeboys, I had to defend myself there for a moment. But yeah, Homeboys, I like what Homeboy showed yesterday as well.
I mean, they did take the King of Kings down 2-0 in a very big upset, but here it is, the Land of Dawn. We're going to get straight into it. I got to check my Samsung S23 Ultra because I could have sworn I tried to curse Homeboys.
Oh, really? Oh, you tried to do the personal to Homeboys. Okay, my heart was just in Homeboys. And let's see if Chibi can replicate the performance he had with Retribution duels yesterday. We've seen multiple Retribution gods all throughout the Snapdragon Pro Series so far, but Chibi was the first one out of all of them.
Chibi has always just been such a solid Retribution jungler, right? You can give him any space, even sometimes no space at all, but he will somehow create that space on his own to find these Retri steals. But what I'm looking at EVOS Icon right now is the fact that Sutsujin has a lot of potential to just invade constantly on this Martis, even up against a Lancelot.
Yeah, and great play there by Zorn, actually pulling away that Scaled Lizard to delay the invade rotation of Sutsujin just for a little bit. He will be able to get this unless Zorn can somehow hook it back or steal it. Nope, Retribution was actually used there by Sutsujin. Interesting pickup here for Veldora, picking up the Unbending Will emblem instead, so he wants more damage instead of tankiness.
Ivan's going to be very careful, though. On the Cho, you are pretty squishy early on. Needs to wait for that level 4, so I'm really curious as to how they take this game. They want to rotate. Veldora is down below, and Chibi might actually go for the kill. Doesn't have that Retribution, unfortunately, because I think that would have been a free kill to Homeboys.
Yep, almost. I really thought that would be a user, but yeah, just gonna get it, and he'll have that Retribution up for this upcoming turtle. Sword not hitting level 4 just yet. Ivan close in the XP, so both roamers just trying to hit level 4 first. Ivan will get his way of dragon before the Franco gets his bloody hunt.
Okay, Sapat already just trying to buy some time for the team as Chibi tries his best to just clear out the gold buff down below, but Krite is right there to follow it up. Sutsujin, one level ahead there. Iron Hook not connecting. Zorn still waiting, trying to go for the Bloody Hunt as Veldora's going to be chained down by the Bloody Hunt. But look at the cancel coming in with the way the Dragon onto Sapat. Sutsujin wins the Retri battle, and it's Chibi who picks up first blood. So it's 1 for 1.
Yeah, easy trade out for both teams. A kill there for Homeboys, but Sutsujin, even though he was relatively left alone as the other members of EVOS Icon were forced back and either busy trying to fight back or get away. Just an easy retry for Sutsujin. So far, Chibi has lost one key Retribution duel. It is just still early on, though. Let's see where EVOS Icon later on will commit their next major rotation.
See, the thing about Sutsujin is he also wins a lot of Retri battles, but it's not because he's just really good at Retris. It's also just because he always gets the lead through jungle pathing, through invading and getting ahead of the enemy jungler, which we saw earlier, level 5 to 4.
Yeah, and that's interesting considering that Sutsujin, again, that invade earlier, that he went for the Scaled Lizard of Homeboys was actually delayed somewhat by Zorn, so it's a good sign for EVOS Icon's fans there and for EVOS Icon. The Sutsujin is still on the top of his game in terms of what you mentioned as his rotation. Homeboys looking to make a play up top, but EVOS Icon feels it. There might be a bit of a skirmish in the top side.
I don't know about this. Ivan walks up, Bloody Hunt instantly with real world manipulation. Ivan is deleted. The Blazing Duet comes through from Doma, but it might be a bit too late. Sutsujin jumps in with the Mortal Coil. No decimation needed there. Krite picks up the kill. And again, it's another 1 for 1.
Yep, just a roamer for roamer though, but EVOS Icon reading into the play that Homeboys wanted to pull off. Oh!
Final slash onto Chibi. He's still holding on to it, not really going. Flicker already from Veldora, and it's a solo kill down below. Zapat's looking for the trade here. It will still be worth it for Veldora as he was able to take Chibi down, giving Sutsujin a little bit more space now, 2 levels.
XP laner for jungler, which means that Krite has to answer to the bottom lane and cover that while Veldora is down. But what a play there again by Veldora the Explorer, finding the right target.
Veldora the Explorer. I think we saw what he was able to do to SMG. Where's Sasa? Where's Sasa? Yeah. Now we'll see if EVOS Icon can take control of the turtle once again, because it seems like even though neutral objective control has been from EVOS, Homeboys always win the team fights.
Yeah. By the way, we have to talk about the positioning of Soren. He could go for a flicker straight into the backline into a Bloody Hunt.
Real world inflation. Oh, good hook onto Veldora. Bloody Hunt as well, but Ivan cancels it out. The red tree is going to be picked up by Sutsujin as Chibi gets locked down by the decimation. Meanwhile, Veldora even surviving in that trade. Sutsujin going for more again with the Mortal Coil. Has to dodge away from the Iron Hook, but meanwhile down below, Sepad, bit too much that he could chew. It's going to be a 3-man dive under the tier 1.
Okay, Ivan, we see you. That key timing with the Jeet Kune Do third activation, flicker knockup, just to interrupt Homeboys' ability to take out Veldora, meant that at the end of it all, it began with Veldora getting caught. It ends with Veldora breaking a tower down bottom. Topside, here's Homeboys.
Okay, Blazing Duet preemptively. Now with the Battle Mirror image, good pin down by Sutsujin, but Homeboys, they should be able to escape from this one, but they might have to sacrifice their turret.
Yeah, right now, Homeboys just really need to look for more favorable trades. Really consider the kit of EVOS Icon as EVOS Icon pushes forward.
Right, with a flicker forward now, also stealing away the ultimate. But now it's going to be Ivan once again, jumping with the Jeet Kune Do, but the Bloody Hunt locks down onto Krite. This is something with Krite. He always just wants to go for these really, really flashy plays.
And that was flashy indeed. He will go down, but that means that is a secured tower break up top in favor of EVOS Icon. As we look at the items here, neck and neck are the two marksmen. But again, Veldora!
Final slash to cancel it out. Meanwhile, just a turret for free for EVOS.
Oh man, Veldora has just been a bane for Chibi's existence down here to the bottom lane, but the trade-off was this. The bottom tower gets broken by Sepat's Joy. So now we're going to be seeing more active XP laners all across the map, which means we're transitioning into the phase where we might see more 5v5s, especially for this last turtle of the game.
Gotta talk a little bit about the gold laners too, because for the first 6 minutes, it's all about farming. Anip has a bit of a gold lead here, 500 gold lead. Considering he's on a carry, good matchup against the Claude, I would expect him to have a bit more to say.
Oh, yeah.
But Doma is scaling pretty well too, already on the way to that golden staff.
Yeah, it was a team decision by EVOS Icon to decide to make that aggressive play up top, which meant that Doma is in this situation where it isn't as bad as it could have been for their gold disparity. Now EVOS Icon more control here around the turtle.
Ivan, wow! Finding a random way the dragon on towards Warlord. As Sepad is going to be dove under the turret now as the Bloody Hunt locking Doma down, but he's still able to survive as he pops in. The Blazing Duet and Krite picks up a double. EVOS Icon without a neutral objective. They go for a fight in the mid lane.
Oh, the tower juggling by EVOS Icon was just exquisite. Somehow, despite Soren able to land a key hook there onto the key member of EVOS Icon, I believe that was Doma that he was able to find, or Krite if I'm not mistaken. Somehow EVOS Icon just juggled the tower hits, was able to dash in, dash out real quickly, and still deliver 3 kills onto Homeboys. Not a good look.
Oh, that's a stun once again. Chibi, he failed the puncture and he gets punished for it.
Oh man, right now Veldora just a windshield wiper, but here in the mid lane.
RWM, but it's only onto Sutsujin who can just soak all that up. Meanwhile, Sepad, I don't think he can take as much. Ivan again with the way of the dragon on Zorn. That one really felt personal, Renmar.
Indeed, he did not hesitate. The moment he saw Soren had no more hook, and Soren at that point...
Wait, no!
Was this stolen? Yeah, he took it away! Ivan, what are you on, man? You are stealing the opposing jungler's orange buff. He stole it against Anip, who wanted that for himself.
Oh, man, Ivan, really. We spoke about this. How is the Cho going to perform up against Zorn? And right now, he's outclassing Zorn in the Rome division.
Oh!
Chibi! Uncharacteristic pickoffs.
Again, Veldora is reading him perfectly. The final slash, right before we cut to the bottom lane, actually, is what secured that kill onto Chibi. At that point, he had no more Phantom Execution. I don't believe he had a puncture as well. He had nothing to dash around. My goodness, as we look at the items, a 5,500 gold lead for EVOS Icon. Still, though, despite all of this, Duma is getting the... Or rather... we have to talk about Anip still keeping it close compared to Duma, rather.
400 gold lead now, and the thing is, he actually got the steel leg plates too, so a bit more defense items. Meanwhile, up top against Sepas, losing on a damage just against Doma, gets baited out now. He's caught off position, but he's still able to run away with a movement speed. EVOS Icon in full control still in the 9th minute of the game.
Yeah. Homeboy's trying to split the map, but because Veldora is there, and here comes Susujin. Oh, this might be a big play here for EVOS Icon if they can catch 3 members of Homeboys.
There's a sandwich maneuver. Ivan's looking for the play on it. It's going to be locked down. No way the Dragon needed right now as the hook connects on the Susujin, but the Mortal Coil gets him out. That's a 2-man final slash. The Phantom Execution was used defensively, but still, it's EVOS Icon who pick up a free 2-0. Meanwhile, Doma, take a look at the split push being done here. Doma picks up a tier 2 for free.
He pops the burst of the tower, so Homeboys needs to spend some time looking at that top lane. EVOS Icon, Veldora, his final slashes have proven to be final indeed for specific sequences for EVOS Icon. He's making the most out of the Arlott ultimate.
Well, final slash, finally. This time it's dodged away from Sutsujin, just soaking up the turret like it's nothing.
He doesn't mind. He knows he's tank. He has an immortality if things go south, and they take the purple buff away from Homeboys. EVOS Icon just did not let up their tempo. They just continue to go around the map. Veldora will knock back Sorn. And because the Homeboys are playing a lineup where they're playing around a Franco and a Neve, 2 heroes that want to position, one of the ways you counter that is to just get into position first. Don't let them find a comfortable spot where they can just hook or bloody hunt, and then a safe real-world manipulation for Warlord.
4 levels up for Sutsujin. We were talking about the matchup a lot before the game, right after we got into the draft as well, with the Lancelot and the Martis. We spoke about, you know, the Retri being so consistent for both, but this game, it really feels like Chibi hasn't been able to do much.
Yeah, it's all the pressure EVOS Icon has just been putting all around the map here for Homeboys. It seems like Homeboys was way more reactive in this game compared to their previous showings. They really want to stand toe-to-toe to EVOS Icon, match that tempo, but they just don't have the kit for it early on.
Chibi trying to micromanage up top. Anip finally gets his hands on the orange buff that's always been stolen away. Doma finishes the corrosion side. The Chibi is going to be poked down quite a bit. Top lane still going to be cleared out, actually. Homeboys are doing it really well. Micromanaging the waves, utilizing the turret, the base turret passive here to just clear out the waves, but the next wave is coming through. It's oh! 2-man final slash from Veldora! The Bloody Hunt locks him down, but he has done what he needs to. Ivan with a ban, strong play, with a way of the Dragon kicking Shutpot all the way back. He's still able to escape, but he's zoned out from his own base.
Can EVOS Icon end it here? A hook? EVOS Icon, are they going to push forward to end it?
They want to go for it. Doma's on it. Battle Mirror Image. He's going to jump in again, and they will secure the first game. But wait, no minions. Will they be able to do it? It's regenning up. It does not matter. EVOS Icon take game 1.
That is signature EVOS Icon tempo. From day 1 to now, they are still continuing it. Aggression from the get-go. Don't let Homeboys play their game.
Exactly. It's about speed.
It's about speed. Ka-chow.
Ka-chow.
That's a great philosopher once said. He's a philosopher. I'd consider him a philosopher. But right now, Homeboys needs to do some deep thinking in terms of how are they going to adjust their draft? How are they going to adjust their playstyle to a team that isn't allowing them to play their game?
Warlord has been the receiving end of an EVOS Icon team beating him before. Back when he was an RQ Senna